Good morning, YouTube. Good afternoon, wherever you are at. This is your man always, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodyman Talk, coming to you live on YouTube, folks. It's over the hump day. Over the hump. It's that day. You seem like the week
Almost
just,
the end of the week.
yeah, just a couple more days to get to the weekend. I remember when I used to work and have a job that I was really looking forward to. Hit Wednesday and just try to slide through the weekend. You got paid, especially you got paid on Friday. Now, folks, as you know, I am a content maker. And on my channel, I am a big fan of female bodybuilding, but I had to expand myself as a content maker. And I know you guys out there who follow these ladies in sport. I see I'm crossing over into the dark side. I am, this is not the first time I did an interview with a bikini competitor. My first time was with the lovely Miss D. Beltram, and she is a nurse. But this time, this is the second time I have here a doctor. Now, the first time I had the lovely Dr. Megan McCullough, but I have here a doctor, a true, as we say in the Old West, a true sawbone. So, we have here Dr. Christine Politico. If I got anything right, let me know. I want to be certain, doctor. I don't want to offend you with my not saying your name properly.
That's okay.
All right, I appreciate you. So, doctor, I like to say it because my favorite TV show was Doctor Who growing up. My favorite was Tom Baker. I like David Tennant, but I like the word doctor. So, doctor, what's up, doc? What got you yourself a professional into sport of bodybuilding? What gained you it? Share.
I got into bodybuilding through MMA. I did MMA for about 4 years, and I even got a black belt in my school, and that's how I became a bodybuilder, which is strange, but that was how I started this whole journey. Yeah.
That's because I do content on MMA on my channel also, and I've known some bodybuilders who started like it's one of my favorites, Jay Fuchs. She started out in Muay Thai. She did boxing. I talk about a lot of combat sports. I've seen of some bodybuilders who's transitioned over into the sport a little bit. Like one of my favorite fighters is Tisha the Tiny Tornado Torres. She competed about 2-3 years ago. She did wellness and bikini. She did a little better than wellness because she's a little shorter, a little thicker. And I know of a bodybuilder by the name of what's her name, Fleece Herrick. She also competed in bikini like yourself as an amateur. It's not that far fetched. I've seen I've seen bodybuilders. Even the UFC has a booth in the Olympia every now and then. And I've known some UFC competitors gone to the Olympia.
Yeah. Well, I did MMA for a while with my kids, and both of my kids have second degree black belts. I'm considered the lowest ranking black belt in my house. But I actually became interested in bodybuilding because my karate teacher was his wife was into bodybuilding. She was in figure, and one day I happened upon her pictures, and I also saw the bikini division, and that's basically how I became interested in and went into bodybuilding. So
that's pretty good circle. Like I say, it often takes I know I've talked to ladies said they got into it like they start out in one division. Like some women start out bikini and they do figure and they go physique and they go up. It's about that transition as a competitor. And like I said, what you like about it, especially as what you like about the sport, what you like about just being on the stage, wearing a nice little pretty outfit, looking good, and.
Well, when I went into bodybuilding, it was a very superficial reason, actually. I saw the bikini division. I said, "Oh, I want to look like that." And I had been trying to. I was never satisfied with my physique as it was. I did so much cardio and with running, with karate, that I was just not happy with the way I looked. And so when I happened upon seeing the bikini division, I said, that's what I want to do. I want to look like that. I didn't necessarily want to compete, but I wanted to look like that. And essentially from, like a 4-month period, I went into my first contest, um, when I started in like 2017, and you know and competed in my first contest, and I was addicted at that point. um, I I don't necessarily like all the dieting, but I do love the discipline of bodybuilding. I mean, it's similar to other disciplines. You must, for me, you need to be on a schedule. Um, you need to make time for it, and I love the process of bodybuilding. It is a beautiful one. The fact that you can just change your body in a matter of months is just unbelievable. And uh, when like I said, when I first started it, it was very superficial reason, and by the time I finished it, I was well, my first competition, I was, like I said, I was addicted to it because I loved the process of it.
That's the thing about sport. People think about like bodybuilding, like it's just about lifting weights, popping pills, whatever else. But it's about a process. It's about consistency. Like you gotta get up and you gotta follow a diet. You have to follow a plan when you work out. When you go to the gym, you gotta work with this body part, work this body part. You have to rest. You have to, all the stuff that comes with this sport. People forget that the whole just it's just not about lifting weights or whatever else. It's about being consistent, and in a whole, that's a good way to develop. Have good habits, and also working with a coach and all that stuff. Like I said, this is a sport in which if everybody can do it, it'd be easy sport, but not everybody can do it.
Everybody can do it. It's just a matter of wanting to do it.
That's the problem. Is some people not want to do it. Part
the
right there.
you know Not everybody wants to do all the extreme cardio. Not everybody wants to diet. Um, you know, and not everybody wants to lift weights too. But um, that part for me is the joy of it. I enjoy lifting weights. It sounds peculiar, but it all of this gives me purpose, and I feel that it suits my personality, and I don't know if it's more than just like a vain kind of sport, um, because it takes a lot of discipline. It you have to make time for it, and yeah, you're right. No, but not everybody wants to do this kind of stuff. But for me, I enjoy it. I love it.
It's good because, like I said, like I said, when I talk to some women about how to get into the sport, they say they have a love for it. One thing about the sport is, even your doctor, and you understand that there's also issues about health and also following a steady diet. I mean, you understand the medical part of it, in which you have to make sure that you follow all the guidelines, which is healthy. I know that we had like a few years ago we had a lot of passing away deaths like that, and one thing people point about bodybuilding is like the use of PEDs and steroids. It's always bodybuilding gets a finger pointing and say you use this, you use that, yeah, yeah, yeah. But if you look at other sports, like especially mainstream sports like football, basketball, baseball, it happens in all. Like this is a there's a MMA fighter I follow, Nick Diaz. He says that everybody uses. And I remember a friend of mine, we become friendly. She said, you told me one time, say, even y'all women, y'all division uses. I mean, say, what? I mean, like, you say bikini girl use? I mean, I can understand like maybe diuretics, stuff like that, because, you want to push that extra water, come in a little more, have that good pop look to you. But even y'all use it? That just kind of, blows my mind.
Well, so what you're asking me is, does bikini division use, um, I guess,
PEDs or anything like that?
drugs? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, if you don't have names, but you feel like if is this uses in that division as much as the others, or is it just like is it more natural, or is it?
Unfortunately, I think that if you're when you become in the higher levels of bodybuilding, when you're in the professional league, you are competing with perfection and beautiful, beautiful bodies. Um, and so I think that, unfortunately, I think over the years, especially in the bikini division, maybe in the past, you could potentially, win pro shows as a natural athlete. But I think over the years, it's become more um, the goal. I mean, the demand is more and more muscle. It always is. So, with that being said, in order to get that kind of lean, muscular physique, sometimes I think people resort to performance enhancing drugs. It's it's un, it's unfortunate, but it is something that, I mean, you can be, like I said, you can, you know, go and compete in the professional league, but you probably are not going to win naturally,
Hmm.
especially even in the bikini division.
Yeah, because I don't follow it much like I do the other divisions because, like I said, I am mostly I concentrate a lot more on bikini, but I see a lot of aspects where instead again it's about hitting those next levels. I've seen bikini competitors jump up from bikini to figure. I've seen some now. You have the new division wellness, who
Yes.
switch over to wellness. I mean, it's about where you want to go. I mean, I've done interviews with ladies to talk about how sometimes they'll be a gym with your bikini girls and have to compete with you with heavy weights. I mean, y'all girls be pushing just as much as the big girls.
Well, I think to pick your division, you kind of, I think you really need to base it on your body type and what kind of physique you want to present out there. Um, for me, I'm not a large person. I'm small boned, so um, I I genetically don't have the predisposition to be someone in, figure or even wellness for that matter. So I think that in order to choose, I mean, like I said, you could do whatever you want, but I think it's better to choose, uh,
Something that fits within your
yeah,
criteria.
something that fits with your body type.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, genetics has a lot to do with that. So, I I'm half Asian, so we're not known to have big muscular physiques or big bodies. So anyways, but even that, with that being said, if I wanted to do wellness, I would do wellness if I wanted to, because I feel like if that's what you want to look like, by all means, try to achieve that. Um, you can do it. It's just that you may not win.
Well, there's another doctor in wellness, and she's a popular doctor. She competed Olympic Doctor Sunny Andrews. I think she did too well. She like bottomed out. I think some people say she's fallen in love a little bit. We got
Yeah,
one of my followers in here.
surgery resident. I know of her from Florida.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So like I say, it's a small community with y'all folks. It's about
There's not many doctors competing, so
no. I've done some quite a few interviews with ladies who are nurses. Like I know, like I said, the lady who I talked about earlier, D Viltrum. She's an amateur. She is an amateur bikini competitor. Just competed in a show just this past year, and we were talking. She's switching over to wellness herself because she's a little bit more. I think it fits more her genetics and her body build. And like I said, I've talked to another doctor, but she's more like a PhD, not really a MD. And we're gonna talk about that part in a minute. But we have somebody come through here. One of my followers and subscribers. This is my man Mateo Gaming YT. Hello, Christina is a very strong woman. You get these guys in here like, hey, we get you guys in here. They say, Joy got a new girl. She's fine as a motherfucker. So, but this is one question I like to ask you. How did you become a doctor? I'm like that's just a I don't know. It takes a lot of years. I mean, studying and this and that. And what's the field you? Are you just basic diagnostic, or you just any specialist?
I'm family medicine, but I'm predominantly I'm in urgent care. I've been in urgent care in the last about 7 years. I became a physician in 2000. I finished residency in 2004. So I've been, next year it'll be 20 years as a physician, practicing physician. Um, so why did I go into medicine? Well, when I was in college, I actually not know what I wanted to do. But my brother, unfortunately, he basically came down with AIDS, and he had died from that.
I'm so sorry.
And I said, okay, I admired his doctors, and after that, I decided I wanted to go into medicine, and because I admired them so greatly and how they cared for him, and that's how I got into medicine.
That is just a beautiful story because I remember how I started this was my big brother, and it's gonna be 20 years this coming June. He was my big older brother. He was like my parents were together for for a good while. They were technically they were married for 55 years, but 30th, my daddy was living in New Jersey up there with y'all, and she was down here in North Carolina with us. And my older brother, he was kind of like he was my mom's right hand man. He was the head of the family in a way. And he got sick. He had, because we have heart issues. I have a pacemaker myself. And, he died, and it seemed like, my family kind of changed. But it was him because he used to play football. He played football here in our hometown. He was a star. He used to get the muscle mags, like, Flex, Iron Man, like that. I used to like looking to the kids because back in the day, guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lee Haney, Franco Columbo, those guys. And then the women, because I was getting a little older and starting getting my teenage years, and those women just kind of opened my eyes wide to something different. And when I started this content, because I was taking care of my mother. She was sick. She was going through. She had serious seizures. I was going every time I go to the doctor. I was taking care of. I could understand how it is to admire doctors, because like I was watching this morning. I was watching a documentary with Dr. Fauci, and I said I respect this man because you know what, he understands what they people. People are always like on his case about stuff, but they understand. You got to understand the science of medicine. And I mean, it's not as simple as people think. There's no true cure, and that's why I have respect for people in the in the profession. And like doctors, nurses, therapists, and I want to say to you, doctor, thank you for your service. I know you had a hard time, as the pandemic was hell. I mean, I know, I mean, I cannot understand. I cannot feel how you were going through.
It was a crazy time. At least we got through it, and we're still going through it.
It's nothing that will change. Like my mother, she had gotten it, and she was already sick, and then it was like excuse me for a second, doctor. I'm just gonna mute for a second, and you can just talk for a bit while I take care of this real quick. Hello, doctor. This is the other guy had stepped away for a little bit, so I enjoy talking to you. I usually don't like talking to doctors,
Why not?
because they think I'm crazy, but I'm just something different, like this, But you're not like the other doctors, they understand. You are truly a person, not of the mind but of the body, and I respect it. Also, doctor, I want to tell you this: you are beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Excuse me, that's the other guy. He comes out in there. I mean, he'll come out every now and then. We got another person coming through, and that's my man Rolando G. Says hello, George Page. Hello, Dr. Cristina. He is a fan. He follows the sport. He supports this channel. Also, like I said, folks, if you're interested, reach out to the lovely doctor here. Her social media is in the description. Check her out. Support her in her path in the sport. But guys, I'm gonna tell you this, and it's just I tell you every time I do this. No D pics, fellas. Stop it. Get some help. She has a husband. She got kids. Don't do that.
Yeah, no,
Women
no.
don't like that stuff. It is, and I think with women like yourself, I think you get a little bit more compared to the other divisions because, like I said, bikini's more of a potato. It's a lot more attainable for some people because, like I said, it's not you don't have to get on a lot of size. You just got to come in good condition. And I
Yeah,
think with women like yourself, you get a lot more attention. Like I said, I talk about my channel how I this is me being like. I'll be honest with you. I call you both you and wellness are the TNA divisions right now of bodybuilding because it's a lot more like one of my favorite shows back then was Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, and I'm a cool lot because I'm a big movie fan. I'm a cool like he did this about 10 years ago when he walked quiet behind his bodybuilding, stabbed in the heart, and then he turned around and did it a couple of years ago when he pushed out physique and then he pushed out figure last year. But your division still have a place in wellness because, like I said, and fitness because you're more of obtainable look for someone who wants to aspire to be a competitor.
I agree that it is a more obtainable look, and that's probably what attracted me to it. But when you really delve into it, um, it's really hard look to get to do it right, um, because they want you to be lean but yet full in the with the muscles, and to have all these beautiful tie-ins, especially in your hamstrings and the glutes. That is probably the hardest spot for women to um, to lean out and to actually see those tie-ins. It's for me, at least it's hard for me. I mean, um, but I like it. May look easy, but I have to tell you, it's not that easy.
I tell you, for me, I can't. Like I said, like you said, you small bone, I'm big bone. It takes a lot for me because one thing I think you talk about how they don't want y'all ladies, even in bikini division, have too much styration in the glutes. I
Yes.
mean, we want you to be a little bit more feminine. But the thing is, like I said, when you obtaining that level of conditioning, you're going to see those styrations, those definitions. Because, like I said, you cutting the skin to the bone, to the muscle, and those things are going to be noticeable. I mean, but that's why some women say like yourself, you're comfortable where you're at, but some women say, what, my body's starting to evolve, and I can't pigeonhole myself in the condition. I've seen competitors say like, what, I'm gonna say bikini, but then when the judges tell you, you might well go up to figure, and then they say you might well go up to physique. It's about transition as an athlete. We're gonna go on social media real quick and show some pictures and some videos and some great stuff here. I mean, that's why I saw her a while back. Somebody sent me was it to another link to somebody else, and I was looking at on her social media. And I was looking at other person's social media. I saw that she was with another lady. I forgot her name, and I reached out to her interview. And I said, "Wow!" And I said, "This lady's a doctor," and it intrigues me that this is a woman. She's a doctor, and she's a competitive bodybuilder. And this is from your last competition. This was the Masters World Championship. I know a couple people that competed that show.
Yes.
We're friends with. And how did you do with that show?
I well, I didn't win that show, but for me, I achieved um, the goals that I wanted to that year. My goals were to, you know, round out my shoulders more, um, and also to get more deeper tie-ins in the glutes and the hamstrings, and I believe I achieved that, and I was really happy with my physique. So for me, I did really well. I set out what I want. You know,
You got a call too, like I did.
didn't show, but I still felt like I won, um, and I achieved what I wanted to do that year.
Yeah, and this is the video that here is you. I thought it was 5-hour drive to Pittsburgh, 3 meals, and 3 liters of water. and you look pretty good. I mean, nice big. You have to have that big smile because the thing is, the judge likes to see the smile, and then posing. And with like I think with bikini, it's kind of like with the other divisions like figure and fitness. They do you only have like the turns, and unlike with fitness and figure, you don't see your back. We see your backside, but you don't see your back.
Yes, bikini. They're not really interested in looking at your back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, you show them a little bit of it, but then it's just just a little taste.
Just give a little sample or something, give a little sugar before you get the salt. But you have some great pictures here. There's here, and this is you did New York also
Oh,
that year, and how'd you do in New York?
uh, that was a very disappointing show for me. I wanted, so I went into New York Pro knowing that, oh my gosh, this is a really great show to be in, and I'm going to see probably very top competitors here. Um, I had no, you know, I went into the show wanting to be the best Masters pro to do New York Pro, um, but it didn't turn out that way. I was too lean, um, and it was for me. This was a one of my saddest looks. I was not full here. I was just so flat, and just it was. I had lost too much weight. It just we totally missed the mark on you know um, me filling out.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it's like anything. I know competitors who like they come in good condition for one show, then pop up and then they just flat out. I've seen some ladies, especially if you have to travel a long way, like some competitors travel out of the country, come to
yeah,
America because if you remember the movie Pretty Woman, everybody comes to everybody is like Hollywood. Everybody, like America's like Hollywood. Everybody likes to come here because there's more shows, more opportunity for competitors, and then to you put in all this work and time. You look great from what I'm seeing. This is just me from just being outside looking in. But then you feel like you just missed the mark on this show. And like I said, you have some great pictures here. This is another show you did, and looks pretty good.
yeah. This is girl power.
Hmm.
Uh,
And when was this?
this was like in last April,
Uh-huh.
end of last April.
Yeah.
Uh, this was my first show last season.
All right, congratulations, your first show. And how was that feeling when you remember your first time you competed as a amateur? What was that feeling you had when you got on stage the first time?
When I got on the first time, I I I enjoyed it. I mean, I don't. I mean, yes, you're nervous and all, but I really enjoyed. For me, competing is like the icing on the cake. It is the end of what you've worked so hard your prep season, or all year, and now it's time to show. Hey, look, this is what I built. So for me, competing is fantastic. I love it. Um, I mean, all ladies like to get dressed up and put on the makeup and all that stuff too. I mean, I enjoy that too, but for me, it's showing the end result of what you've been training for, um, during your off season and then in prep. So it's it's a it's a great feeling. Um, I I love it. That's probably why I keep doing it every year.
That's the thing about y'all women. Y'all like to have to prep up, get nice, everything like that, to get dressed up. Guys, we gotta just basically guys got just shirt, shit, and shave. That's about it. We ready to go. But we have to wait on y'all. My man Rolando G is saying says yeah, the Arnold change. Even I think Helen Trevino asked Arnold. She posted it and said that the Arnold blamed on the promoters and sponsors. I believe George. Yeah, that's the thing about it. Also, he says yes, doctor. Christina, I believe that bikini form is tough to maintain for certain women and understand changes in size can be traumatic for some transitioning bodybuilder sizes. And also, Ronaldo says like this. He says, "You look very sensational, Dr. Christina. You have a new fan here. We got my man here, Big Duke from fourth quarter. Say, what up, George? What up, Big Duke? And also he also says, peace to the guests and chat. Thank you, my man, Big Duke. He's right here in my home. He's right here in my home state, of North Carolina, up in Raleigh, a little far up the state. That's my capital. If you follow this, and yeah, understand that it's tough. I would say like this: with you ladies overall, it is a lot more expensive to be a competitor as a woman. As you know, with the men ends, they just got to put on a banana hammock and a pair of board shorts. You ladies have to have your hair done, your nails done, your jewelry, your makeup, just not including your posing suits. Then
Yes.
include the cost of travel. But you're a doctor, you can afford it, and you got a husband, but
Well,
yeah,
that's
that's
overtime.
yes, yeah. I remember I used to work overtime. Yeah, yeah. I know you be. I used to work two jobs when I was younger. I used to work at a gas station. My first job was 16 was a gas station. I worked there for like almost 20 years. It closed down. Then my first real job, I used to work in textile. I used to work with women all day, all day. And then I had another job later on where I used to work in a gentleman's club. And and the thing is, I remember one thing my favorite comedian, Chris Tucker, said like, a daddy's job is to keep his daughter out of clear heels and keep off the pole. But with your sport, it's about some people see like this. It's more pageant over performance compared to the
Uh-huh.
other sports. And I talk about how it's not as mainstream. I used to remember watching bodybuilding on television as a kid. You should watch on like NBC or ESPN. We didn't have cable when we left the country, but we came in town, we had cable. That's why you should watch ESPN. But now it's really on you know online and also live stream, like that. And
Yeah.
as a competitor, what's your thoughts of how you feel like the sport should be more benefits as a competitor? You get this pro card, you pay like $200 a year. Should be more benefits and stuff for you competitors, and you a doctor should understand that.
What do you mean benefits?
Like as you know, like one thing is one thing is this is a poor man's sport, and there's no real money unless you get a sponsor or something like that.
It is not. You. I work pretty hard to like do what I do. I mean, to bodybuild is very expensive. So
Yes.
yes, for men, yes, because there's at the end of the day, you're doing hair and makeup, which is like sometimes $300 for that day. The suit is it can range anywhere from 300 to $1,000. Um, uh, the heels, I mean, yeah, the heels are and jewelry, but those are not as expensive. But it all adds up. But I feel like all the nutrition is, I think, the most expensive. So it is definitely not a poor man's sport. Um, and I don't know how other people do it. Um, you know, if I mean, well, I know how they do it. They probably have other jobs.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I just, for me, I work extra because I have other bills to pay for my kids. But yeah, no, it is not a poor man's sport,
Mhm.
and unfortunately, I have to work harder at my job. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have a good job. I know a lot of competitors wish they could. Like one thing, like in like sports, most people they compete their job. Like in this mainstream sports, that's their job. You have that off season where you sit around do whatever you want to do. But that's the thing about bodybuilding is that you have to have a job. You have to maintain like why talk about this one thing about a lot of ladies who do this, especially as you look at over the prize money. If you look over the men's division, it's always going to be the men's bodybuilder going to get the big money. I know with women's because it costs more for y'all. I think I mean one show. I think the highest show I've ever seen outside of the Olympia is maybe Rising Phoenix, and or also like I know people like Sarah Vigors have stepped up her division and put prize money up to like $10,000, $50,000. But then if you keep in the show, you're getting like $3,000, $5,000, and that's just maybe enough to cover your costs and expenses. It's just the thing about this. I feel like it's the IFBB NPC should be giving better benefits for your competitors, like like life insurance, health insurance. As you know, if you want to go get your blood work done, those things can help because, like I say, no one comes to see Jim Mannion or any other promoters and like that. We come see you, the competitors and athletes. That's what my thought of it. But like I said, it's just I think like, again there should be a little bit more benefits. If we get that pro card, it should be more benefits for y'all. So it wouldn't be so much on you financially.
It would, and ideally that would be nice, but that that's probably never going to happen.
In a perfect world, it would be.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, I would like to just, eat and train and, relax and do shows, but that's not real life. And I think part of it for me, I mean, the hard work that it takes to just to get on stage is all worth it. So I mean, I don't think I would be a very good competitor if I've had so much free time and just to concentrate on training. So this gives me more purpose, I think. So yeah, it like I said, it's I think it's better if you work. There's no way you can make a living just being a competitor, especially in the bikini division for women. I mean, women in general in bodybuilding, the prize money is not as high as say for bodybuilding for men.
Yeah,
And
because like I said again, it's just that this is just excuse my language. This is a terminology in the world of pimping and prostitution. The men are the bottom bitches, and they're the ones who bring in the money for promoters and also sponsorship. You women, like I said, truthfully, me personally, I prefer to look for lovely lady. I don't want to. I'm not coming there to see no hard legs. I can see y'all folks. But I respect what you're saying and I understand what you're saying. And you work hard, and especially you have. Yeah, yeah. I think your husband just came in. That was him that's come in, or that's somebody.
no, daughter.
Your daughter. Oh yeah. And that's the thing is, your kids, what they think when they go to your shows with you, or are they like your biggest fans, or you have like, oh no guys, like especially you have a son and he's coming of age and you're like, and this is my mom, and like they say hello Dr. Pelico, I just saw your show, I just like I'm a big fan. Yeah, teenage boys, yeah.
The kids when they were younger, they went to all the shows. Um, but as they're teenagers now, so they're not really interested in like sitting and watching these long shows. It's um, so I mean, so I like I said, as they gotten older, they don't really come to the shows anymore, and that's okay. I
Okay.
this is this is my thing. I like to do this, so I don't expect anybody to sit in the audience and just cheer me on.
Hey, I guess you're their mother. And like I said, I do. My mother, she raised me and my brothers and sisters. And like I said, I'm quote another movie is No One Based from Psycho, a boy's best friend, his mother. I don't care. You go to their practices like that. You sit there and cheer for them. They should cheer for you. You're their mama. You had that, not you
Yeah,
had like that. You just shut up, sit down. That's what you're
hockey
supposed to do.
them to all these things. Yes,
Yeah.
I am their biggest fan. Yeah, it would be nice, but I really don't want them to have to sit
You're
through
too
these
nice. You're
shows.
too nice. I thought I was gonna like you, but you're just too nice. I just you're too nice, a lady. You're too nice. You deserve a lot more. We got a man here, Rolando. He says, "Oh wow, these prices for what it takes, Doctor Christina. You, you competitors deserve better benefits. Hoping to help more on that." And we've been talking about, yeah, and that's true. And And when you're rest of your family, other than your husband, you still have other family. Like I know you said your brother's passed. Have any other family that when you say, what, I'm going to start this. What were their thoughts and their feelings?
Well, so I have another brother and two sisters. My brother and my younger sister they're kind of fans. They're like, wow, it's so great. But then my older sister is not so much of a fan. She thinks it's weird. And, you know, I guess the bikini is too small for her. She's very conservative. So she's not one of my Instagram friends.
No, my big sister, she's my Facebook friend. She supports my content. I remember one time I was doing an interview with a lady. She came in here. She had to drop out some food. She wanted to bring some food, and I introduced my sister to her because she was like, when I was coming up, I was like the youngest out of. Well, my father had a son before my mother. Then together it was supposed to be seven of us, but one passed away as a baby, and then he has we was like all totally. I'm out of technically like 9 or 10. I'm one of the youngest, but I said, but my father was a drunk and a fiend. My mother never liked it, not one bit. But like I said, I can stand coming from a family and supporting you and standing by you. I know there's gonna be that one person say like, I don't like it. It's just not. But the fact is, this is your life. This is what you want to do, and it shouldn't. If you don't like it, hey, just stand by you anyway. I can understand that. But it's good that the rest of your family, like your son, your daughter, your husband, they stand by you, or your brother and sister, and still you have friends and family that support you, and the people at your job, like what's it like when you're at work when you're doing working doing shifts and you say what you're eating because sometimes like, one thing about as a doctor you on your feet most of the day what's your diet like well how do you prepare when you get ready for prep.
Well, when I go to work, it's, I prepare my food the night before. And then, so I'm eating very frequently every 2 to 3 hours. Um, Sometimes there's interest at work. I've been doing this for a long time. So like people are not like so curious about what I'm eating. I think they tend to look, but right now it's like very low carb. There's not much. There's not much fun. There's a lot of chicken and vegetables, and they sit there and they say, "Oh, but I'm so sorry for you that you're doing like you have to eat like that." And I'm like, "Don't feel sorry for me. I enjoy this. I mean, yeah, I don't enjoy leaning out, but uh, and eating just chicken and vegetables, but I enjoy what I do, so it's part of it. So yeah, there's a little interest, but it's I've been doing it for so long over there, and the main joke is when they order out, they're like, oh, Dr. Pacilio probably cannot won't eat out with us, so they don't even bother asking me anymore. So that's
That's
the bummer part.
Yeah, it's not. It's like I said, hey doc, there's like low like sometimes it's the only thing about eating out is hard because the fact is I've talked to ladies who I've become good friends with. They said the one thing is about that's one thing that hurt like they lost friendships and relationships because of their change in their life. Like, a few years ago, like I said, I was taking care of my mom, I was almost 500 pounds. And I decided to make a change in my health and my diet and it's tough, especially when you have a taste for good food, or you just be wanting something, you be hankering for something, it's just like like you might be wanting like that nice piece of steak or something like that. It's just like it'd be like this, it'd be like they call your name, and it tastes so good this food, and you just be one a slice of cake, and chaos, it's anarchy, and I love anarchy and chaos, and it'll be calling you, like, and you're just like, oh, like, that's the hard part about it, to follow your meal, your diet, and there's times where what was the the what was the last thing you had? What was your last, like after your show? What was your favorite thing to eat?
Oh, I usually eat pizza. That's what I eat. Pizza and salad. I'm pretty simple. Um, yeah, the other go-to meal is burgers and fries. So those are my favorite. Ice cream.
That starchy meatness in that salt and the
I
the
crave the carbs. That's what I crave because during prep, my carbs are usually so low. So that's probably why I like that kind of stuff.
that'd be like this. One of my favorite movies, New Jack City, with Chris Rock as Pookie said, like, "Be calling your name, man. Be calling your name. Be calling your name." Like, I know a lady who I'm really cool with. Her name is Sheena Olick. She's a IFB bodybuilding pro, and her favorite thing is she loves donuts. I mean, I remember one time she did Chicago Pro where she had like a box of donuts, like half a dozen, like it was like special made donuts. Like one had bacon on the top, and one was like, it just be. I know food is, like I said, it's part of the process, but it's also should be enjoyable. My man Rolando is also saying is like this. I had to ask Dr. Christina. Want to ask George, what profession are you? She is, like I said, she works urgent care, and and that's her. And she is a MD, a doctor, and and that's what, like I said again, that's what intrigued me about this lady. She's in a profession where it's very respected, and she's in a sport where it's not as popular, well known, and she made decisions to do this. And that's what, like, when I do this content, when I see, like when I follow ladies on social media, and I see something about, say, what, I see aspects of myself, as being just like some ladies who got in sport because they were overweight. Some ladies got in sport because they need to change their lives. And with you, who's in a profession which is probably one of the most, I think, respected professions in our country, to get into the sport and find your passion for it. That's what really intrigues me about it. And also, he says, my apologies, George. I wanted to ask the lovely Dr. Christina what area of practice is in. And I think you said again that you're just urgent care, and
Yes,
you're, yeah.
I was family medicine
Hmm.
and transitioned to urgent care about 7 years ago.
Hmm. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Urgent care, as everybody knows, is when you go in, it's emergency like that. I remember, this is a true story about me. And this was one time I was working at my old job. I was working at I wasn't Texas. I was working at some meatpacking plant. I got sick one day. I thought it was because I worked at a cold storage. I was getting sick. I go to my sister's house. She worked in healthcare too. She works mostly with county health. She told me, go to the hospital. Okay, go to the hospital. So I went to urgent care place. I was there. They said, Miss MacArthur, there's something in your system. We can't do nothing for you here, so we're sending you to our bigger hospital. That's Cape Fear Valley. I was there for about a week in the cardiac unit. And then they told me, because of, I should have taken care of myself, but you know how it is when you're working, you try to live, you don't eat healthy as you need to, and it just, these things happen. Plus genetics, like I said, my mother, she was diabetic, my father had heart problems. Both of my siblings passed away. She's the youngest of the sisters, but she was my big sister. She had a stroke. My brother, he had heart problems, and it's just things that happen. But now I have made the choices. I made some changes in my life, and it's tough to make those changes. And you can understand that being a competitor, and it's tough to say, what, I'm not going to do this or do that. It's the hard part about it in sport.
It is tough, but I guess when I started the sport, the I kind of eased into it by changing the foods that I was eating and how, the amounts and also how often I was eating. Because as a bodybuilder, you have to eat pretty often. It's maybe not huge quantities, but it's pretty often, and it can be kind of difficult. And so that's how I eased into it first, and then you add in all the other stuff afterwards. The food, I think, is the most difficult part. Don't you think?
Yeah, it's the most difficult part about that. Just following a diet, being consistent on your diet. I know there's temptations where sometimes you want to, you know, enjoy a nice burger now and then, but you have a choice. Hey, I'm prepping for a show, or eat this, and then you got your kids. I know, there's your daughter running there in the back, and they don't have to follow a diet. And then there's times where you're eating this that say, hey mom, you want some of this? Say, I know they probably pick on you every now and then when you're in your prep, don't they? The kids be bad for that, aren't they?
They tease me, but they're pretty good about it. I have my food and they have their food. So I make separate stuff for them to eat because I can't expect them to eat what I eat during prep. They wouldn't be able
You want
to.
to call your daughter
They
older
wouldn't
so
leave the house.
you want to call your daughter older so I can talk to her. We need to talk to her because she's walking around
Come here. Hi, this
Hello
is Gianna.
sweetheart, what's your name?
This is Gianna.
Gianna, how you doing? Do you support your mama?
Yeah.
Do you go to her shows? Now, she goes to your stuff, right? Why
Used
does she
to.
go to hers? You better.
She's
You better.
usually at school.
Okay,
Actually, no, Saturday.
when you off on the weekends, you go support your mama. You cheer for your mama because I know she loves you. And you love her. How old are you now, sweetheart?
Well, there's another thing. Sometimes if I go like to Florida or something, they don't want to go there.
Hey, Disneyland's in Florida. They can take the Disneyland. Well, folks, we're going back to her social media again, and we're going to look at some
That's
new
true.
pictures. Just while looking at here she is working on her job, this is you doing like a little seminar. That's one of the nurses there. I mean, this is really I really respect that. It's just a great story about you, about who you are.
It's just, well, I mean, I love my job. It's just, it's it's just not, it's not, let's just say it's not what I am. It's just, it's what I do. I do love what I do, but for me, bodybuilding is my passion. Oh, this is funny. We were doing a shoe fairy, like pseudo contest there. my my friend Javonda, who's the office assistant, was helping me.
And like I said, you have good support with your, with the family and friends, with your workers, your co-workers. This is like a little picture here, and here, and with you and your husband. Your husband's name is Vince, and he stands by you. And how long y'all been together?
We're going to be together 20 years this September.
That's 20 years. That's wonderful. And when did you first meet you? Did you say that's the man you're gonna marry, or was it like he said like this is gonna be the woman I'm gonna marry, or like what was that like?
No, it wasn't anything like that. When I met him in when I was finishing med school the last year, and my husband's a chiropractor, and he was finishing up chiropractic school. We met in Kansas City, um, and I met through his roommate at Barnes and Noble. That's how we met. Um, it was, and then I'm out here in New Jersey because this is where he's from. So I went out and did residency in New Jersey. Um, so that's how we met. I don't know. It wasn't like, oh, this was like, love at first sight. It's just something that happened, and it was, it's by luck that we met. And because like I said, we were leaving Kansas City that year, and we could have never met because we were finishing up school. So
Mhm.
it was like I said, by luck.
It's good that you found you found him in your life by luck or by any ways, but that's just it's good that it's love, and you stand by each other 20 years, and you have two lovely kids, you have this great career, you have this great life. I mean, hey, I'm jealous. I mean, but like I said, like I said, this is what I like when I'm doing this content about you ladies, to give y'all a voice and a story for us people who don't understand, and to share this to let you know that hey, not just lifting weights and hulking out and picking up trucks and doing that. You are real people with real lives, and just the things you do. I really respect that about y'all, and that's why, like I said, I try to focus on my content, give y'all ladies a voice. It's like I said, my channel is a small channel, but it's still, this is what I call, for me, this is a purpose. And like yourself as a doctor, what you do is a purpose. What's happening? We just lost a doctor. Hello, there you go, doctor. Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
And it's just you know to really show people that you women in this sport, men and women, are people who have a passion for this sport, and to give y'all a voice. This is why I do this. My man Rolando is saying, "Yes, Dr. Christina. Oh wow, this is a very courageous of you. Emergency care unit can be hectic. I worked as a security officer around the urgent care ward back in 2003. Wow, Rolando. So like, thank you for your service. And also, same here, Dr. Christina. Appreciation women who take on the challenge of the urgent care. And you have a fan here with my man Rolando G. He's a fan. Like I said, this is what I will want. What would you, as a competitor, would like to see change in this sport?
Uh, right now, for me, I feel like what I would like to see change is to let older athletes compete. Not necessarily in the open category, but to have their own division and their own Olympia. Um, I feel like I think that's what I would like to see change in the sport. Um, maybe
Well,
maybe that's just crazy, but
well, it's not crazy because Masters getting a lot of pop. Is growing. I like a good many of my ladies I have interview are women of your age. Like you said, you're like when we're talking IG. You're 50. You wouldn't believe this woman's 50. You wouldn't believe it if you look at her. You wouldn't think. I would think she's like maybe 30, 35, maybe about 40, but she said when she's 50. And Masters is getting, I think, like one thing about Masters, what I found out is that y'all have to pay in to compete. I'm saying when you're amateur, you got to pay in. But then you hit the pro level, you shouldn't have to put money in your pocket. That's another expense you have to go into because I know some competitors who compete as amateurs, they would double dip. They would do bikini, they might do figure, they might do wellness, they might do bodybuilding, they might do physique, and then like Gary Udick, he's a big Masters guy. He does like he created that new show, the Masters World Championship. I know a couple of ladies who did that show.
that
Ladies are
last.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
ladies are considered great friends. Um, and this year they open up Masters. They're having a new Masters in I don't know why having it in Romania.
Romania.
Yeah, because it used to be a master show, but it was just mostly for the men. They had it back in the '90s. You had Lou Ferrigno, Vince Taylor, Albert Beckles. They competed, and then they dropped it. But because there's a growing number of women and men who are much mature age, my friend, her name is Marianne. She competes in physique. She competed at a show where she competed a lady. She was 77 years old, and the lady says, "You're my competition," and she went, huh. And then I met a woman like a while back. I met Irene Anderson when I went to Savannah Pro last year, and she's almost 60, and she's an amazing lady. She has that documentary about Too Big for This World, and that's about women's bodybuilding. But like I said, the Masters is growing, but the Masters show is also it's a qualification for the Olympia. But this is my aspect of it. Why not make it part of the main Olympia? You have the amateurs.
Well, that's what I was thinking too.
Mhm.
Why why is the Masters Olympia all the way in Romania where you're having the open Olympia in Las Vegas? Like
You know, they moved it to Orlando.
did what? Say that again?
They moved it to Orlando.
The Masters?
No, the Olympia.
Oh, the Olympia. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I didn't.
you because I've been like I did a couple interviews with some ladies who competed. Couple one of the ladies, Diane Willis, she's a bodybuilder. She got sick up there. One lady, Barbara Majan, she competed physique. It said that because the conditions wasn't as good, so they moved it to back to Orlando, and now it's going to be in November instead of December. And I think because well, people were telling me because the fact was that the venue was a lot easier for them. Where Vegas, they had it. The reason why they have in Vegas is because the pandemic. Because Nevada had those guidelines, you can have a lot of people, so that's why they had
Yeah.
Orlando because Orlando is a little bit more less progressive state, as you might well say. And now they moved back to Orlando because the fact is, I think it's better for like competitor wise, though venue wise, and also it saves a little bit of money too because Vegas and also Vegas is not like a lot of politics of rigmarole. But
Uh-huh.
the Master Show, it should be part of the main Olympia. You can stick it right between the amateur show and the main show. And
Yeah.
then if it's because this year it's supposed to be qualification for the Olympia, you can say, okay, we can make a qualification for next year's Olympia. Whoever wins in the master divisions, they compete for the next year's Olympia.
Yeah. I I had the same thoughts too. I wondered why it had to be all the way in Romania and separate from the main, you know, regular Olympia. I think it'd be, to me, it makes sense to put them together. Or
Well,
is it that there's such ageism in bodybuilding that nobody wants to see older competitors?
because
I,
because last year they dropped the point system, saying like it's for the older. It's not just for the older competitors who just you know you might not. Okay, you get the top. I think the points for top five competitors, and it helps
yeah,
you get the Olympia. But then it's with your division. There's a lot more shows. I think there's more shows for men's open and bikini compared to women's bodybuilding physique. I think right behind that is probably your male version, which is men's physique, which is pretty much men's bikini, and then you have classic figure was classic figure. It called it classic physique, but I always call it classic figure. That's what it is. I mean, if you like women's body, like women's division, there's like six divisions and you have their parallels. Okay, you have women's bodybuilding, you have men's bodybuilding. You have 212, you have physique. You have figure, you have men's classic. You have men's physique, you have bikini. The only ones that stand out is fitness and wellness. And no one wants to see guys with a bunch of big butts and no one wants to see guys in tight little suits jumping around. They used to try to do it back in around about the good part of the mid 90s, but it didn't work out. No one wants to see some guys in track suits jumping around, stripping around. No one wants to see that. But like, I agree with you with that, Doctor. That the fact is that it should be part of the main Olympia. You can squeeze it in. Like I said, you have the amateur show. You can squeeze it in right then. Then you have the main show. It just makes more sense. But the thing is, like I said, it's about money. It's about that almighty dollar, and it's cheaper. Just like I think when pandemic hit, like I know some people said that you can go in Romania without have to go through all the recommended rules of testing like that, and that's why they settle for Romania because Alina Popa, who I got the pleasure to meet at Savannah last year, she promotes that show, and Wings of Strength they back it because Wings of Strength, as you know, it's the been for a long time the biggest sponsor of women's bodybuilding. I know a while back she said that she had women in your division requesting to be part of it, but like I said, this was something for women's bodybuilding for it to survive. But as you know, your division is a lot more stronger. It was more like brought in to the sport compared to the others. Even though, truthfully, women's bodybuilding actually started more like bikini. But like I said, it's like anything, it evolved over time. Like
yeah,
once they get a little bit, women became more like figure competitors, or then they kick off the high heels, and then they just like anything, it changes up.
changed. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. That's for me. That I think that's what I would like to see. Just I don't know. I feel like there's not as much respect for a master's uh, bodybuilder than you know an open one.
Yeah. I understand. Like I said, you put in just as much hard work as young competitors. You put in much time. But like I said, it is a sport of ageism and sexism. People are going to go to the next best young thing, or somebody's going to go with somebody who looks this look. I mean, but like I said, it is growing. You are, like I said, you came into sport late in life. There's going to be quite a few more competitors. I mean, coming into sport because they find they have a passion for it, and that's why I even talked about it on my channel. How yes, there should be more opportunities because I think there's some like guys like Tim Gardner. He has master shows like in Chicago. He has in Tampa. I think also, I think there's a couple of people promoters that do master shows. I mean, like most of them, like I said, Gary Unit, a good part of his stuff is masters. He does in the pros and amateurs. He has the collegiate show, the collegiate. I think it's the teen collegiate and masters, and
Yes,
it's and often North Americans have it too, in the amateur level. And like I said, it's about
it
you know
it's slow starting, I think. So I mean, it's there. It's just hopefully there'll be more in the future.
One thing is, it's about what it's about people taking risks. Like women's bodybuilding, like I said, that's my content. There's not enough shows for them. But if promoters and people will sponsor and take the risk, and say, what, I want to put money behind this. I want to give these ladies who are, or these men and women who are much mature in age, opportunity to represent themselves. To be like, okay, some competitors like I've seen who would both do the Open and do the Masters. Some would do better in Masters. Some will do as well in Open, but they had that option. I remember one lady who I become quite friendly with. She's a physique competitor. She competed at Savannah. She did both. She won in the masters class in physique, but she was in top five in open. But she has a great physique. Her name is Talia Chartrand, beautiful lady, amazing physique. She's from Canada, and I've seen some women who just sometimes it's just about timing, and
Yeah.
conditioning. And also the thing is, the judges have a lot of control. They like, they're like you said, like I said, you feel like you came a little flat in your last show, but then the judge say, yeah, yeah, but you might need a little this and a little that, a little this, a little that, and then you come to another show, you come in the best condition, and then you win, and then you come to another show, same show, different show, but you're still in good condition, but then you lose somebody who's not in as good condition. It's just criteria keeps changing, even in your division. It's about what look they're looking for, what they want to see, what they want for your competitors.
This is true, and I've done both, open and masters. Um, that I feel they really want the masters just competing in the masters division. And I mean, if you feel that you can, if your physique is as good as an open competitor at a pro show, I mean, by all means, compete. But I feel like there's more of a push for the masters to stay in the masters division, um, just from what I've heard from judges.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, like they have a lot of control. Like I remember somebody told me how like a judge can override if like I said he could pick some if like the other four or five judges pick somebody, the head judge can override them and say I just picked that person. And that's just like I said, it's just crazy for my stuff I'm learning. But it's just like I said, it's a tough sport
Yeah.
and a lot of time sacrifices. I know there's times where like I say you want to spend just being at home and just relaxing and just being with the kids and the hubby. But you gotta go to the gym, you gotta work out, you gotta diet, you gotta eat. What's your plans for this season? You taking a break, or you're gonna, you're just gonna just what? This is the off season for you, or you think you might even compete?
No, no, I'm currently in prep right now. I was planning on doing April 29th show in with Girl Power in Orlando, but I think that I need a little bit more time. So my I'm going to push off, the my first contest to maybe to May. Um, I think there's May 27th is the other time that I was thinking of. Because right now, for some reason, every prep's different. My my body's, I think, been fighting. what I wanted to do. And I feel like, I'm why kill myself if I can just have a little bit more time in prep and until, yeah. So I was going to have only 5 weeks left. And that really weighed on my mind. And I'm starting to see results, but I don't know if I'll be ready in 5 weeks. So I think I'm going to push off my first show till the end of May.
That's good. That's good. And like I said before, there's also, if you think about go back to Florida, like I said, Tampa Bay Pro, they have a master's class, or like I said,
Yes.
you want to go on about June. I know most definitely Chicago has a master class, and also the Garrett Udis show. I think it's supposed to be still going on. I think about. I'm trying to think. I had the schedule before because like I said
He's
again, I follow.
usually, his championship is usually in like World Champions September,
Yeah,
usually.
so
I don't know if it changes.
yeah, it's a schedule and how you figure it out, whichever works for you. But like
Yeah.
I said, it's like I said again, it's a tough sport, and you ladies ready to present yourself. I like to say I don't do a lot of content on your division because, like I said, it's just it's a bit ambiguous for me. I as I said again, I have been a fan of female bodybuilding for a long time. I just root for these ladies, and but as I said again, I am a content maker and I really want to expand my horizons. I've been even reaching out to women in wellness because I want to, get their mindset. It seems like it's a lot harder to get them as compared to, women in the other divisions because I think they really want to have a, be able to get their voices out. But to have yourself take the time and to sit and talk with me and to share your story, share your path, and and just and express your opinions. This is really why I do this. Like I said, you ladies, even though, like I said, you're part of the dark side, you ladies deserve my respect. You should get, you should get what you put into sport as much as you get out of it. I mean, as I said again, it should be more benefits. It should be more anything. I know you work hard, but you shouldn't have to work too hard. Like somebody told me, you should work smarter. But like I said, you love what you do and you enjoy what you do. That's a good thing. But like I said, this if I could do this, and if I had the means of way, I would say like this, Doctor Pelico, I would want to sponsor you. I would want to see you go to the next level. I want to see you to succeed as an athlete. You're gonna get these weird guys like this. Hey Doc, you're kind of pretty. I seen your picture. No, stop it. Get some help. No, this woman is a professional. Be genuine about supporting any of these ladies in this sport. I know you're gonna have these weird guys, and like I said, we talked about earlier about the money thing about it. Like a lot of these ladies, they have to, as I like to call them, they have to do the beat the meat websites because the fact was it's a way for them to make money. But
I
you
am sponsored. Me.
you sponsor.
Me.
But it's good to have other sponsors, so you know what they can take the little bit the load off your shoulder. Like
I would love that. That would be so awesome. But it's again, I think that they're looking for someone younger.
well,
And that's okay.
it shouldn't about your age. It's about the quality of person you are. And anything, this would be if I was able to say, hey, this woman's a doctor, she's a professional. This would be you could find time to work out, to train. You're a mom, you're a wife. You have this job where you are in urgent care. This should be something that would inspire. Like I said, it's what I say like this. Anybody out there, as I said again, interested in sponsor Dr. Pimlico, be genuine, sincere about your interests. Reach out to her. Maybe she'll accept the help, maybe she don't. But be genuine about it. My man here, Rolando, says here, we are here to motivate you, Dr. Cristina. If you need more fans and supporters, I'm here. Sincerely, not trying to be weird or anything like that. Yeah, and that's the thing is, sincere support for these ladies. Like I said, she get a little heart. That's so precious of her. She's so cute. And that's the thing is that we need that. We need that. I know I talk to some people say there's often some cattiness and backstabbing and like that. You have smiling faces and backstabbers in the sport, but you have genuine people like yourself who have a passion for a sport, who love what you're doing, who enjoy it. And like I said, this is why I want to give our ladies a voice and a platform so you can share with us. People don't understand, and people need to learn that it's not, like I said again, it's not about pumping weights, it's not about popping pills, it's about consistency, it's about diet, it's about following guidelines, it's about this and that, and about having the mindset to understand that, you know what, it may be hard, but anything's worth having is going to be hard.
Exactly. That's why not everybody can do bodybuilding.
That's what I said earlier.
It's hard. But you know what? It make that what like I said, it makes it all the sweeter. Um, After all the hard work and dieting and the trials and tribulations of being in prep and trying to be a certain condition and be full at the same time, it's it's all worth it. Otherwise, I think everybody would be doing it. So to me, that's what makes it worth doing. It's about hard work and it's more than just being vain. Oh, I want to look good in a bathing suit. It's not that at all, at least for me. So yeah.
Well, like I said, Doctor, you do look good as a suit. And as the other guy said again, you are beautiful. I'm sorry about him. I have to. I try to keep him wrinkled, but you know what? We see a pretty like yourself. He can't help himself, so he can't stop it. So, folks, like I said again, we do appreciate the doctor's time. She's a wonderful lady. She's very soft-spoken lady, a very strong-minded lady. And as I said again, um, if you're interested, if anyone out there who sincerely want to, I know she sponsors herself, but it never hurts to have some help to alleviate a little bit of the pressures of being a competitor. If you're so genuinely interested in sponsoring the dear doctor here in her next step in evolution as a competitor, reach out to her. I said again, I left her social media stuff in the description. Support her. Hey, you don't have to, if you don't have to do anything but say, hey, doc, you're doing great. Doing a good job. Appreciate you. I'll see you at an appointment next week. Whatever you feel like you can say to support her in this path. Be genuine about it. But this is my rule, guys. And I know she's in the division that really, I think you guys, you get your little tickle in the pickle, you get excited. No D-pics. Stop it. Get some help. I know, like I talk about this, like one thing I talk about this in bodybuilding, a lot of women, female bodybuilders, they talk about how guys talking about, oh, trying to be a man, trying to be masculine. But with y'all women, y'all more of a attainable look. But you still get that same bit of harassment from guys saying like, hey, doc, what if I turn my head and cough? You get weird guys out there. And, and as you know, like I said, my big focus mostly on bodybuilding. I'm in it. I'm a muscle pro smoke. But like I said, hey, some guys like this, hey, you ladies, when you rock hard, we'll rock hard. And that's just how the thing is about the guys out there. But we have to respect you as women, as athletes, your wife, your mother, you're a doctor, you're someone who put in this time and not just mentally, financially, physically into the sport. And it's tough. It maybe not be on the extreme end like you look at women's bodybuilding or also the other divisions, but still, you women put just as much time in. You work out, you work hard, and like I said again, you deserve just as much you put into it as you get out of it.
Well, I get a lot out of it, so I'm happy.
We're glad we do. So anyway, folks, we do appreciate Dr. Pimlico's time. I know, she. If this was a regular doctor visit, I'd get a charge. I can't pay the bill. I'm broke. But like I said, do you have anybody you want to say shout out to or just so appreciates and who supports you?
Who, for me?
Yeah, for you. Yeah, talk to you.
Well, I guess Coach Marissa Wu. She's with Fit Body Fusion. That's my coach. She's I've been with her now like going on 2 years, and she's really been the core of, me going, uh, hitting the stage as a pro. So it's not been easy because transitioning from amateur to pro, but she has really helped me ease into it, and hopefully we're going to continue to do better things this year. So yeah.
Yeah, that is it is great that you have your coach who supports you, your family supports you, your coworkers can be a pain, but hey, you can't pick your coworkers. But doctor, as I said again, I appreciate your time and I
Thank
hope you
you.
all the best. Like I said, I check in on you now and then, and I might even like mention you because, like I said, I don't do a lot of content on bikini, but like I said, you're somebody I will talk about like whenever you do a show, I will mention you on my channel. Because like I said, I like to support anybody in the sport. I like to see them evolve and grow. Maybe even like I said, I might reach out to more women in the division. I don't know a lot of the names in it because, like I said, I don't follow as much. But like I said, as a content maker, I really want to expand and grow. And if I, like I said, reach out to people who want to share their stories with me, my followers, my subscribers, and really give perspective of what it takes to be a competitor in this sport. My man Rolando G again says, I got to say, Dr. Cristina, I really feel like I could see you in Grey's Anatomy or something. You have great look for television series. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think, wasn't, ER was in Chicago and, Chicago Hope was Chicago. And I try to remember, there was no, there's a Chicago Med, maybe, hey, hell, and you might get a call and say, hey, you know what, we might need an extra. Just walk in a scene like that, But, but like I said, would you like to ever do TV or stuff like that, or like yourself?
Never thought of it. No. I just kind of like, I'm not that, never, envisioned anything like that.
Hmm.
I just always wanted to work hard and take care of my family. And, I mean, I used to do MMA and love that, and then transitioned into bodybuilding. So, no, I didn't have any aspirations to do anything else. Um, just trying to, I don't know,
Yeah. This
live
is
my
something
best
like
life.
you said, like you did MMA, and I got a friend who inspired me to. His name's Coach Sharon Harris. He does a lot of MMA content, and he used to always ask questions in interviews to some of his to ladies who compete in MMA. How do you get out of a Kimura?
What?
A Kimura. It's like a front choke when you get you from the from like your or what was your style? Were you like karate or were you did you do
It's
BJJ
so
or
front choke. It would be more of like a pluck, and then somehow kind of get underneath that front choke. That it's a you don't want to be in that position. That's for sure. Especially if you're smaller and your attacker is bigger. Um, so the okay. Here's one way. So front choke. Um, so I would say try to. Uh, there's a technique where you kind of bend forward and you turn a little bit to the side and hit the groin. That's one way. Yeah, yeah.
okay, okay.
So those are
Oh
more
no.
oh my god kind of techniques. Um, yeah, I think that was one of, that I remember learning.
I think, Doctor, I think I don't want to get in a fight with you because if you saying, hitting, kicking the cherry in the twig, I think we're gonna have a problem. Yeah,
I mean, that's
but
my goal in life to do that. But if I'm in that position, I'm going to do what I can to get out of it.
you got to do what you got to do to survive. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And I respect that about you. So anyway, folks, as I said again, I do like the doc, like the doc. Sorry, like to thank the lovely Dr. Pimlico for her time and for sharing her story. We can wish her the best of luck in this upcoming season. Most definitely, hopefully, maybe, you know, she says she's doing masters, but maybe try to do open. You might even get Olympic qualification. You just, like, that'd be good. I mean, I know you want me to do masters, but Never hurts to just
I probably won't do that.
yeah.
I'll be sticking to my masters, and I think the goal is to try to get to the Masters Olympia this year. I don't know if that will happen, but I'm still applying for it.
Like I said, always next year. And like I said, you know what, whatever works for you, that's up to you as a competitor. You know what, whatever works for you, and you found your niche, and that's who you are. I know some people want to you know do whatever they feel like that's best for them, but you do what's for you, and you happy with that, then no one can say you nothing wrong.
That's all that I can do. Definitely.
She's such a sweet
I mean,
and
I
nice.
would love to do open, but it's more of an ego thing at this point.
Well, it never hurts to have an ego, because that's the thing is you have to have that ego. You have to have like like you gotta have that Conor McGregor kind of like like going walking in like, yeah, I'm the shit. Yeah, 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 yeah. What the bloody I did it like that. Yeah.
I understand that, and you should have some ego, but the problem is you need to be realistic too. So I'm realistic. I'm going to just I'm I'm 50. I'm going to have to stick with masters. Um, even though I think even though I want to do open, it's just I don't think it's going to be in the cards for me.
Uh, I understand that. Like I said, you do you and do what's best for you. And like I said, doctor, you're a person who has your foot on the ground, 10 toes down. That's why I love getting an opportunity for ladies like yourself to share your story, because this tells that this might be inspire somebody who is, who's much mature, saying, you know what, she's at 50 doing this. I can't do it at 50, 48, 60. I mean, it's just a great way to really show people that, even though it's a tough sport to do and not everybody can do it, but if you have the will and the passion, that thing you have to have the will. It's possible.
You
And
have to
that's
have the will.
yeah, because sometimes you have to make some sacrifices. I know there's times where still again your kids are eating Dunkin' Donuts, and they told you, hey mom, I'm eating Dunkin' Donuts. You're just like and but it's good that you found your passion for a sport, and you're not just in it the for the goal is to just to be the next best thing, just to be a good person. And like I say, when my conversation with you, you just have this, just have this warm feeling about you. You're so quiet and stoic. I know you're a little shy because this is your first interview, but this is stuff that really helps competitors get you out there and get some attention. I know some stuff going on in the sport right now. It's going wild. It's crazy. It's just, just whatever. But like I said, I love giving you ladies, anybody, an opportunity to share the story. Like I said, my platform is like I said, my channel is dedicated to you ladies. I talk about women bodybuilding, I talk about women MMA, wrestling, boxing. As you know, I said again, my jobs, I worked with textile for 13 years with women. I worked 5, 6 years in a strip club with women. I grew up with three older sisters and my mom. I have a love for you ladies, and I like to see women like yourself who have just genuine good hearts succeed in this world. It seems like, it can be tough at times. But like I said, what you want to do, you should do it. And this is you should never, feel like, don't let those things like doubt get the better of you. If you feel like you have opportunity to take it. But like I said, but wherever you feel like comfortable with you, then go ahead and do that.
I will. Thank
Well, I
you.
hope so too. Well, like I said, folks, we like to say thank you, Dr. Pimlico, for coming through, sharing your story. Appreciate you. Right, thank my man Rolando G for coming through. My man, the fourth quarter. That's my man Big Duke. My man Mateo Gaming YT. Folks, if you missed the video, you can watch it over again. Like I said, yes, if you want support any of these ladies, be it bikini, be it wellness, be it figure, be it physique, be it fitness, be it women's open, be genuine and sincere in your interest in these ladies. Like I said again, don't be that weird guy. Stop it. Get some help. These women got enough they got to deal with. You know, just be someone saying like this, Dr. Pimlico, I want to support you as an athlete. I want to see you grow. I want to see you be at your best. Whatever you need from me, let me know. I'm happy to do it. That's what we want to see. And we can see that, it's not a perfect world, but if it could happen, we just want to generally see it.
Thank you.
Well, that's the thing. This is one of my favorite movies is the Inner Batman Begins. When I'm always, if my man KL was here, he pick on me about it. Where he says to Jim Gordon says to Batman, "I forgot to thank you." And he turned around and said to him, "You never have to." All right. So, all right, folks. Like I said again, I thank y'all for coming through, supporting, support Dr. Christina in her upcoming, competitions. Hey, you kids, go to your mom's show. Yeah, I don't care. Go there, sit in the audience, cheer, yell, holler. That's my mom up there. Do that. She does it for you. You should do it for her. Anyway, folks, I'd like to thank again the lovely Dr. Cristina Plibico and all the people who come here today to watch and listen. Follow, subscribe, support these ladies in the sport of bodybuilding. They've been, it doesn't matter what division it is, support these women. They put in a lot of work into it, little to no reward, and they deserve a lot more. They should get more to get out of it as any other athlete. Anyway, it's me on our way Church page, aka the Emperor Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I am out. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye.